On February 3, 1996, a citizen reported a fire at the Jenkins family's condominium. City firefighters found 5 bodies piled inside, later identified as George Samuel Jenkins, 51, and his wife Eileen Pam Grossman Jenkins, 49. Their daughter, Megan Rochelle Jenkins, 11, and Bill and Evelyn Grossman, ages 78 and 75 respectively, Eileen Jenkins' parents and Joshua and Megan Jenkins' grandparents. Joshua Jenkins, the 15-year-old eldest son, became a wanted man once he discovered that he was not listed among the victims. The owner of a 24-hour AM/PM convenience shop on California 78 called 911 the following day, February 4, stating that Jenkins had visited his establishment to inquire about the fastest way to Las Vegas, after recognizing Jenkins' description from the local newspaper. Jenkins was arrested without incident shortly after arguing furiously with police, initially rejecting the charges, but then admitting to killing his family and setting fire to the condominium. Unable to conceive their own children, the Jenkins family adopted Joshua, who was born in 1981, and Megan, born on March 17, 1985 in Los Angeles. Jenkins had been treated for mental illness since he was 5 years old. Later, as a teenager, Joshua's parents were obliged to call the police on multiple occasions, due to his furious, threatening, and aggressive behavior. Jenkins attempted to kill his father with a bow and shotgun before the deadly episode at the condominium, but George was able to stop him with force. To help him deal with his symptoms, his parents decided to send him to the Vista Del Mar boarding school for problematic youths in West Los Angeles. On the tragic afternoon of February 2, 1996, his parents, younger sister, and grandparents picked him up from boarding school and took him on vacation to the family's condominium in an elite residential enclave named The Terraces in Vista. Jenkins quickly quarreled with his mother upon arrival. Then, that night, Jenkins killed his family one by one while they were sleeping, using a hammer and a sharp knife. Megan awoke and questioned what had happened, and Jenkins told her to return to bed and cover her face with a pillow. The next day, February 3, Jenkins managed to conceal his axe from Megan by claiming that their parents were ill and had been sent to the hospital. Jenkins then brought Megan to the grocery to purchase an axe, and advised his sister to choose the axe she preferred. But then he murdered her after returning to the terrace, striking her in the head with the axe they had recently purchased. Before departing with mercy, Jenkins heaped the bodies together and set fire to the condominium. Jenkins first pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity at the examination trial, which was supported by psychologists and psychiatrists who examined the young man and determined that he was mentally ill, albeit others did not consider him insane. However, on April 16, 1997, the day before his trial began, Jenkins changed his plea to guilty, after the judge determined that he would be prosecuted as an adult with a potential punishment of 140 years in prison, and, if found insane, Jenkins might be confined to a state mental facility. However, after the court learned how viciously Jenkins murdered his family, Joshua Jenkins was sentenced to 112 years in jail without parole on June 30, 1997. Jenkins claimed he killed his family in retaliation for his parents sending him to boarding school. Joshua Bradley Jenkins now still remains detained at Mule Creek State Prison in Ione, California, United States.